Welcome, friends, to another one of Mink's builds. This is one build in a series of brickheads, counting down to the start of Tennocon, which is happening on July 18th and 19th this year. So, sizzling into the crowd with number 3 is the character Minerva Hendrix, a member of the Hex Syndicate, in the brickhead style of building. Brickheads are essentially Lego's answer to Funko Pops, and this build is no different from the others. This build took me a toxic number of hours to make, and the parts count melted at an approximate 175 Lego pieces. Here, Minerva is glowering at us in a dynamic front pose. Want to see some more? And now we've got a side shot of Minerva. I tend to build brickheads head first, because I feel this is the most recognizable aspect in creating any brickhead. It's the large head on a chibi body, so it tends to draw the eyes to it as the main focal point. I personally feel that if you can nail the head on a brickhead, the rest is ancillary. Achieving the side part and flecks of gray with purple throughout Minerva's hairstyle was an interesting feat. I was able to replicate this with various plates and flat curves to capture her signature, messy side part with accuracy. Other notable details to the untrained, I include Saren's sunglasses on top of her head, represented with a few bar and clip pieces. Secondly, her large shoulder pauldrons, with purple leaves sprinkled in to accentuate the fluffiness of the material surrounding the shoulder armor, and her, big personality that's on display. Next, here's a shot of her back. I love the dark blue and deep purple present on Minerva. The color palette invokes a certain level of sadness and mystery to Minerva, and if you've played Warframe in the last few months, getting to know the character, she has a lot going on underneath the surface. I also love how more organic and natural she feels as a character in a brickhead. Much of her design is sleek patterns, long bulbous and rounded elements, complete with the purple frills/fluffs around her shoulders, a stark contrast to the other protoframes. I also love how I was able to capture this not only the shoulders, but with the curved flat macaroni pieces in white and light bluish gray directly on her back. And finally, a dynamic shot of her back. The most rewarding part in converting Minerva into a brickhead was trying to recreate her signature, exaggerated shoulders with the frills/fluff of a lilac/purple color. This was done with large rounded white bricks for the bulk of her shoulder armor, and the frills/fluff effect was recreated with an arrangement of lilac leaf pieces. I'm so relieved that I picked these leaf pieces up because they work so well for the build. Another hidden shot of color is the brown underneath said round plates on her back. This segment of brown in-game appears to be a few straps connecting various aspects of Minerva's outfit, represented with 2 1x2 brown Lego plates. Surprise, 360-degree view go. No, that's not your head spinning. That's the video. You weren't expecting some video in your video, were you? Here we got all the angles of Minerva, caught in all of their sad color palette glory. Now you can see all the details I mentioned above, hopefully getting the full context, and piecing together what I was attempting to convey. A detail I know I haven't mentioned is the hot pink pieces on her right leg/hip. They are present to signify a protrusion or a growth on Minerva's leg. It's an interesting bit of flair to what some could call a gloomier Warframe. Another detail you may have noticed that is missing here that is present on most protoframes, and not Minerva, are the olive green pieces that make up the harnesses. I suppose DE wanted to differentiate the Tekrod Encore protoframes from the other ones that launched with the 1999 update, so other than Kaya and Velmer, Minerva and the last protoframes sport no olive green pieces in any of their designs. Some closing remarks. Minerva, unlike a few of her fellow protoframes, did not receive any reworks/changes that elevated her usefulness as a Warframe. Saren, her descendant, was already a great Warframe, being able to inflict her enemies with a toxin that can infect others and grow in lethality as time went on. Nothing has changed here, other than Saren receiving a protoframe skin in the form of Minerva. Returning to the build, Minerva was such a joy to build. There's only so many plates thick or tall that you can pour into a brickhead without them looking like a tall order of bad decisions. Unless, of course, those are the proportions you're after, but I digress. In the end, I will regress back into old, unhealthy habits and relapse in a mindset that I am happy with all the little details I was able to fester into this build, and I hope that you're on the same toxic wavelength. Speaking of I may or may not be releasing more videos on other members of the Hex, counting down to this year's Tennocon. I hope you'll join me in the countdown and check out my other videos, as they'll be released daily leading up to the 18th. I also have one more visual treat for you, oh viewer mine, before we part. Wow, nice background. The countdown for the rest of the proto-frames continues tomorrow, so please consider checking them out if you like what you saw here and want to see more. If you have any suggestions on what I should make next, brickheads or otherwise, please submit a comment down below. Thanks for joining me in another one of Mink's builds. Come, let's build something together. See you at Tennocon.